It is time to take a look at the top 50 rated players in EAFC 24. Don't forget to let me know in the comments which one of these players you want to use the most, and drop a like on the video because it helps out massively. We start off with Martinez, and he looks like the perfect striker for the start of the game. A little bit low on pace, but a Hunter Chem Soul will sort that out. But like I said, the perfect striker for the start of the game. Next up is Frankie de Jong, a player that is always overpowered at the start of the game, and this year I think it will be no different. A Shadow Chem Soul on this card in the midfield will be incredible. Next up is Odegaard, a really good base card, and going on last season you'd expect him to get a few upgrades, possibly some player of the months, and that would take this card to the next level. Next is Mike Mainan. It's a goalkeeper. I don't know what else to say. Next is Marquinhos, possibly one of the best centre backs in the game. Really good pace, incredible defending, good physical stats, and decent enough passing for a centre back. Next up is Luka Modric with a little bit of a lackluster card. Yes, great dribbling, great passing, but other than that, not much going on. Next up is Son, one of my favourite players for the start of the game. You look at that pace, shooting, passing, dribbling. Perfect for that striker position. If you pack this card, it could easily last you till late November. Next up is Manuel Neuer, once again a goalkeeper. I don't know what to say. Hopefully they're pretty good this year, but a big downgrade there for Neuer. Next up is the first female to break the top 50. Smith here with really good pace, incredible shooting, really good dribbling, and really good physical. This card's going to be incredible for the start of the game. Next up we have this Mbappe troll. I swear the amount of people that are going to get annoyed packing this card thinking they've got Mbappe, but it's not too bad of a card. Next up is a goalkeeper, Endler. Once again, I don't know what to say about goalkeepers. Moving on to what I think is going to be the most overpowered centre mid in the game, Valverde. I don't even need to comment about these stats. I'm just gonna just take that in for a second. Next up we have Giuliano, I think that's how you pronounce it, probably not, but a really nice card overall here. A really good centre mid, would actually really go well with that Valverde card in midfield. Put an Anchor Chem Soul on this card and you are sorted. Victor Osimhen, what an upgrade he's got. Great pace, great shooting, great dribbling, and really good physicals. I think we are going to see a lot of this card in EAFC 24. Next up we have Guro Reiten, a really good winger, really reminds me of that Sun card we looked at earlier. It needs that shooting upgrade, so I would recommend a Hunter on this card. Next up is Pereira, the first real card here that I'm not very impressed with. That low pace is going to make this card a little bit unusable. Look, you might get away with that pace in the first few weeks, but it's going to quickly become an issue. But a few upgrades on this card and get that pace up to like 75, and then we're talking. Next up is Dibinya, a really good card with incredible dribbling, but a Hunter Chem Soul is desperately needed. Next is Alexandra Pop. Once again, the pace is an issue here. Based on everything I currently know about FIFA, this card wouldn't be exactly usable, but we don't know about EAFC 24, it could change. Next up is Bernardo Silva, a player I love to watch in real life, but in FIFA, that pace is going to be an issue once again. Really good dribbling, really good passing, but once again, the pace is an issue. Next up is Joshua Kimmich. I don't want to sound like a broken record here, but the pace is an issue. Maybe with a Shadow Chem Soul you could get away with this card for a while, but it is going to catch up on you. Next up we have Bruno Fernandes, and no, the pace is not an issue on this card because in my eyes, Bruno can do no wrong. Unless in fact he does actually do something that is horrifically wrong, and then I take back that previous statement. Next up we have Oblak, a goalkeeper, then Ederson, another goalkeeper, and then we have one of the cards I'm most excited for, Griezmann. Griezmann's animations are always really good in FIFA. Combine that with these OP stats and we're on to a winner. We now head into the top 20 with Salah, a -1 downgrade that people are going to be a little bit surprised about, but we do have to remember last season Salah had a bit of a slow start. You have to keep that in mind when looking at these ratings. You can't let recency bias play a part in this. You have to remember these cards are judged across a whole year and not just the last few months. But even with that -1, Salah is still an incredible card. Great pace, incredible shooting, really good passing, really good dribbling. I'm excited for this card. Next we have probably the most broken card in the game, Vinicius Jr. Look at the pace, look at the dribbling, look at the shooting. This card is going to be outrageous. Next we have Mbappe Leon, a really good centre back card, really good pace, incredible defending. This card is going to be really good, and I love that passing on the defender. Next we have Rodri, a really good player in real life, but realistically in FIFA he will be considered as fodder, which is a little bit disappointing considering the season he's had. But that's just how this game works. It's all about pace, it's all about agility, it's all about the balance, and he's not going to have any of that. Next we have, I believe, Gianni is how you pronounce it. Who knows? Well, probably someone who speaks French, but I don't, so let's just move on. Incredible pace, really good shooting, really good passing, incredible dribbling. This card is going to be one to watch. Next up we have Heckerberg, a card that could be a little bit of an issue when it comes to pace, but a Hunter Chem style could sort that out. With a Hunter Chem style, this card would look really, really nice. Next we have Alison Becker, another goalkeeper. Moving on. Next we have Alex Morgan, a player who I thought maybe might have made the 90s, but just short of it at 89. But still an unreal card, especially with that kind of dribbling on a striker. I can't wait to see the in-game stats. I'm presuming it's going to have really good balance, really good agility. We're going to have to wait and see. Next we have Ruben Diaz, a player I actually used at the start of FIFA 23 and kind of got away with it for quite a while. But in FIFA 23, having a lengthy player meant so much. In EAFC 24, we don't know. It probably won't mean as much. So for now, I can only take the base stats, and I'm going to presume this card won't be usable. Next up, we have Van Dijk. What I always say about Van Dijk in your team, having this card means you don't have to defend. The AI takes care of it for you. He is just that good. And this is a card that could probably last you until January or February. Next up is Casemiro, once again a player who's incredible in real life, but the pace in game is going to let him down massively. And it's unfortunate because I think I got through a lot of the first 25 players without being too disappointed with the stats, but as we head into the top 25, a lot of these players become a little bit less usable because of the pace. Moving on to Neymar here, and this card would be incredible in that cam position with that passing and that dribbling. You might need a Hunter Chem style to sort out the pace and the shooting, but that dribbling, I think it's the highest we've seen so far. It looks insane. Next up is Ter Stegen, another goalkeeper. We move on quickly. Next we have Bon Mati, a card I would rather play as a cam rather than a centre mid, but nonetheless, so regardless of where you play this card in midfield, it looks incredible. Next up we have Hansen. What else could you possibly want from a winger? This card has everything. Even with 75 physical, that is incredible for a winger. Once again, this is another card you're going to want to keep your eye on. Next up we have Courtois. Moving on. Next up we have Benzema. I think it's the first time he's never had a Real Madrid card in Ultimate Team. I could be wrong, maybe in FIFA 09 or FIFA 10 he didn't, but it's been a good while at Real Madrid. But still a very usable card. The pace, once again, you're going to need a Hunter Chem style, but a few upgrades on this card and once again Benzema is in business. Next up is Harry Kane, not in the Premier League anymore, over in the Bundesliga. This card was unreal in FIFA 23. Does that mean anything going into EAFC 24? No, we don't know what the meta is, but if I said in FIFA 22 that Harry Kane would be meta in FIFA 23, nobody would believe me. Next up is Robert Lewandowski. He's holding on to that pace very well. I was expecting it to be a little bit lower, but he's holding on to it. This is a player who I always want to be unreal in FIFA, but never quite is. He's never really meta. Hopefully this year is different. I would love to see a Lewandowski do really good. Next up we have Sam Kerr. I thought this would be the highest rated female card in the game, but obviously the World Cup changes things. But an unreal card, and she will link to Premier League players, so that's going to make a big difference. Next up we have Messi, almost dropping out of the 90s but just about hanging in there. But after winning the World Cup, he absolutely deserves to still be in the 90s. This card will be unreal as a cam, but unfortunately because of the league and the lack of Argentine icons, he's going to be very difficult to get chemistry on. Unreal passing, unreal shooting, unreal dribbling. This card looks incredible. Next up we have Pateus with the highest rated female card in the game, and this card looks incredible. I honestly believe this is one of the best cams we've ever seen in a FIFA game. As we head into the top 3, I'm not going to delay it. There's no surprises here. Kevin De Bruyne, Haaland and Mbappe. Let me know in the comments which one of these cards you want to use the most.